Hello, welcome back to the TOEIC test reading lesson. We're going to continue with lesson 3, which is part 5. So, let's have a look. We're first of all going to do lots of practice of vocabulary today, and we're going to look at parts of speech first of all. These are things like verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs. Okay, so let's do some practice. It's important to think about the form of the word. So let's have a look at this table and let's complete it. The first verb is act. Have a think what the noun, adjective and adverb is. The noun is action. The adjective is active. A person can be very active. And the adverb is actively. You do something actively. Okay. The next one is photograph. You'll be familiar with this if you're a tourist. You have your camera and you photograph something. As a noun, we can also say photographer, which is the person, photography, which is the subject that you study, and also photograph is also a noun, as well as a verb. The adjective would be photographic. For example, a person who looks good in photographs is a very photographic person. And you can do something photographically, but we don't usually use this adverb. It's not very common. Okay, the next verb is permit. This is a good one to know. The noun is permission, and we often use the verb give. You give someone permission to do something. The adjective is permissive, and the adverb is permissively. But again, you won't need to use these very often. But the verb and the noun is important. The last verb is agree. The noun is agreement, which we will be looking at quite a bit, because in business you often make a lot of agreements. The adjective is agreeable. You can have an agreeable person who everybody likes or who agrees to things often. And agreeably, with ly, will be the adverb, the way that you do something, or the way that you speak, for example. Okay, great. So let's move on and have a look now at some confusing words. These are similar words, but they have different meanings. So it's very easy to confuse them. You need to be careful between the different meanings. So we're going to look at avoid and prevent. They have very similar meanings, but they need to be used in a different way. We're going to look at and watch, and permission and permit. Okay, let's start with the first one, which is avoid and prevent. Avoid is a verb and it means to get out of doing something. So it's usually when you don't want to do something and you try to get out of it. You don't want to do it. The next one, prevent, is also a verb and it means preparation to stop something happening in the future. So here you're thinking about the future, but now you're doing something so that it doesn't happen in the future. So you're preparing in advance. Okay, let's do some practice. 2 sentences here. Changing government policy helped to a rise in unemployment. He always tries to making the decisions. Now in both cases you'll need the verb, because avoid and prevent are both verbs. But you'll need to think about the meaning. So, changes in government policy. This is something you're doing to bring into action a change in the future. So you're preparing for the future. So we can say that the changes in government policy helped to prevent a rise in unemployment. So they're trying to fix that problem of unemployment and they do something in preparation. Next one, he always tries to avoid making the decisions, which means he really doesn't like making decisions. So he wants other people to do that job. So he tries to find ways to avoid making the decisions. So it's not his responsibility. Okay, the next 2 words we're going to look at are look at, which is a verb, and it means to assess and analyse. So you're going to look in great detail at something. And also